Know about you guys, but that song really gets me going. I don't know. I'm so thankful. I want to give a shout out to Tony here in studio. He's going to join me a little bit off and on throughout. He does have a microphone and a picture to put up so you guys know what he looks like. But I want to give him a shout out for helping put that song together. It was a while back now. We are now on episode 63, which is crazy. So big shout out to him for helping put that together. It was walk in the studio and was kind of like, okay, this is what I'd like it to be like, but I want it to be kind of, kick you in the chest, but also show, hey, I'm a survivor. Let's do this, So I'm thankful for that. And also before we get started, you guys, I want to say, first off, happy Survivor Girl Sunday. So excited to be here, breathing upright and, alive and just feeling the feels, feeling everything right now, because don't you know that when you're feeling, you're alive, you're upright and breathing, you're doing your thing, whether it is holding you back, pushing you forward, whatever it is that you're doing, you're feeling it and you're here. And I'm thankful that you guys are joining us. I'm going to get into the disclaimer. I cannot treat or prescribe. I am not a doctor or a therapist. I'm not able to do any of those things that your trained professionals can do. I am merely here just to talk about the things that I've thrived and survived through, the guests that I have on, the things that they've thrived and survived through, in hopes to uplift and hopefully inspire you guys to not give up, to keep on thriving and surviving. So tonight, I should say, this week's guest, I'm going to do a little recap about that. And I've got a couple more books that I want to bring on to talk to you about some of my past guests as well. Because tonight's topic is going to be about... when you have a path that you're going towards and you think that that's what it is, it changes on you a lot of the time. So what do you do to keep on moving forward? We're going to get into that a little bit. But first, I'm going to talk to you about Denny Wozman. He was on last week. He wrote this book, Electrocuted, an inspiring true story of faith, courage, and the will to live. It was awesome to have Denny on. He wrote this book, I believe, it was back 11 years ago, I think, is when it happened, when he was electrocuted, when he was in a coma for 11 days. And he goes on to talk about this inspiring story of faith, courage, and the will to live. He starts from the beginning of his childhood and all the things that he faced when he was younger, how he overcame them to continue to keep moving forward, how he ended up getting married to his high school sweetheart and having kids. And then it gets into how he was electrocuted and how he came back after he actually did perish, and to come back and to continue to keep on living. And now, then he goes around, he sells his book, shares his book with people. He's been on my podcast twice. He's going to be on Don't Make This Weird to talk a little bit more about his story, which I'm excited about. We're both excited. Tony is too. About him sharing his story. Incredible guy. Met him through Bronner's. If you guys didn't tune in last week, I'm just giving you a quick recap here. He's a very sweet, big, gentle giant, I would say, because he is also a bodybuilder. He does a lot of weights and different things, and that's his thing. That's what keeps him going, along with his wife and his beautiful children. Just that will to live and to find something that keeps him going, his mind and body and everything active. So a very, very awesome guy, very sweet guy. Just thankful that he's come on to share his story. And he's also very uplifting and positive as well. He is constantly on Survivor Girl, throwing out some God bless yous and different things like that, because he does have, he is a man of faith as well. So I'm excited that he had joined us and that he will be on Thursday. Coming up next Thursday on the Don't Make This Weird podcast. We're excited to have him on. It is definitely a different style of show. We have bands, we have comedians, we have all kinds of different things. And I'm thankful to have that opportunity as well. That's where we kind of started out. If you are just now tuning in, this is your first time checking out Survivor Girl podcast. That's where I got my feet wet, I guess you'd say. Started that podcast. We're going on 4 years. And it is totally different compared to what I do on Survivor Girl. Survivor Girl is very near and dear to my heart because of the things that I have gone through to have to overcome and keep on moving forward and celebrating my second chances. You guys, and that doesn't mean that I don't have hard days, that I don't have struggles, that I don't cry, that I don't hide in my closet sometimes crying, because I've been there. And I'm sure some of you guys have too. It doesn't mean that I don't have days where I have anxiety. It doesn't mean that I don't have days where I just want to throw my hands up, wave the white flag, and call it a day and be done. But I've learned though that I wouldn't have gotten this far to just give up if I wasn't meant to keep on moving forward. There's so many people out there that are not given the second chance. And if you've ever watched Survivor Girl, if you know any of my story, if you know me, you know that I was given several second chances. And I feel like for me, it would just be throwing it away if I didn't continue to keep moving forward. So, yes, I throw my hands up in the air. I want to wave the white flag. I cuss. I stomp. I have my moments where I just want to beat a pillow to death, whatever. I have those moments because I'm human. I'm real. And I share this stuff with you guys because of that. I grew up with a lot of people picking on me for being overweight, for having the last name of Edgington, which was also resonated into Edgington because of being a heavier kid. Just, a whole bunch of stuff. And who hasn't been there? Who hasn't been picked on for something stupid throughout high school? Weight, height, whatever. We all have. We've all experienced it. Maybe you were the loud one. Maybe you were the one that was nerdy. Maybe you were the one that just couldn't get your instrument to sound right and you sounded horrible in band. And maybe you're the one that was always had zits on your face, or your hair was always scraggly, or you had hand-me-downs because your parents couldn't afford to give you clothes that were brand new like some of the other kids, or maybe you got straight A's and you got picked on for that because you were so smart and everybody else was jealous of it. We have all faced some kind of judgment. We have all been through that. But guess what? Even at this age, you still get it. And even at this age, sometimes because we're human, we still judge too. But I try to remind you to dial it back if you can, because we're all facing something different. We all are going through something different. And to me, even being 40 now, I sometimes will look at someone and go, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Why? And then I think that person is unique. I like that. I like that that's what they're doing. And a good example. So if anybody has tuned in to Don't Make This Weird, you guys know I am no stranger to vehicle problems, troubles, issues, all of that. We've talked about taking all of the vehicles that I've had issues with and turning it into Voltron. There's a big joke about that. I get teased on, but you know what? It's so different from when it used to be when I was a kid. I can laugh and joke back, and I give it right back to these guys when they do it. So, it's about changing that around and going, okay, we were talking before the show, me and Tony, about how people will pick and do these things and judge and whatever, and then we stop and go, okay, well, what is it that they're facing still? What is it that they haven't let go of why they're still being a bully at this age? It doesn't excuse it, but what thorn is stuck in their side as to why they're still acting like they're acting? It's so hard sometimes to grow up when you're not ready to grow up, when you have had so many things that have happened to you, you don't know how to let go of them, and when you don't know how to love yourself. So I was going to get into a little bit more about these books and different things. We've had different guests on the past on Survivor Girl. One of my very first, it was back when Becky was actually on the show as my co-host, was Jan. She was one of my first guests on the show, her and Crystal LaFay. Oh, that was one thing I was going to get into with the vehicle situation. There goes my mind just like hopping. With the vehicle situation, I had my moment. Like, I try not to post on Facebook any kind of like personal stuff or things that I'm facing. But I've had a vehicle now in the shop. It'll be 8 weeks this coming week. And it's really held us back to be able to get down to see my dad, to be able to do a lot of different things. When you don't have a vehicle, you have to rely on other people, which I have incredible people in my life that have been very helpful, let us use their vehicle, have come and picked us up, has, helped with getting us to appointments. We've walked a lot, which has been incredible. I hated it at the time, but afterward, I'm just like, I needed that. So, I got my heart pumping, all that stuff. So there's been a lot of really good things. So when we talk about feeling woe is me and being down and just feel like everything's coming at you, that you're just stuck getting sucker punched in the face or in the gut, so many things are happening. well, you stop and you think about it. Okay, but what can I pick out of this that is a positive? So with that situation, because I was being human and I did go on Facebook and I said, I've had it. I'm going to throw my hands up in the air. I'm done with this vehicle situation. I can't. I had somebody inbox me and end up being so kind and caring that her and her husband gave us a van. And this van was very well loved by this family. Put that their spin on it. It is decked out with stickers and neon green, and it's just so colorful, so much stuff. And there's peace and magic bus and all kinds of stuff on it. And I want to tell you guys, this has been the most incredible thing that I've ever driven in my life. I absolutely, and Adam feels the same way. We both absolutely love this gift. Okay, we have people that will shake their heads at us. They will go, we had somebody drive beside us and actually take a picture while they were going by. We've had people smile. We've had people throw up the peace signs. We've had people like just, do the fist pump thing. It's been crazy. We have people smiling. They have people tell us, "Oh, we love your van. That's cool." So it's been fun because I talked a little bit about um, having a vehicle before that was rusted out. The muffler had fallen off. I had this moment where, I got picked on so much as a kid that I didn't want to go through that as an adult. And with that vehicle, it was rusting off, pieces were falling off. It was rough, but this car lasted a long time. So I stopped to be thankful for that. But when I'd go to meetings, I would park it far away so nobody would see it. They wouldn't see me get out because I felt like if they saw that my car was such a hot mess like that they wouldn't want to do any kind of business with me or whatever. But I'm finally getting to that point where I'm just like, I'm okay. I enjoy driving this van. It is so fun. It has a bed that folds down so you can go camping easy. There's just so many awesome things about this van. I love it. I love everything about it. And the fact that, they reached out to us and were so kind and wanted to give us this van, that meant so much. And I'm not going to even lie to you guys. I bawled my eyes out about it because we were at the end of our rope. I was so tired of hearing about the Ford. Oh, I'll have to start it again. I got to finish it. There's this, and this. I've got another job ahead of you. I've got so many excuses, and he's going through stuff in his life too. So I try to dial it back and go, okay, what's going on there? And try to be a bigger person about things. It's not easy. It's not easy. It isn't. But because of this situation, we've got our freedom with something new, a brand new vehicle, a van that had like 81,000 miles on it. That's unheard of. And it's an 89. I was 9 when this thing was made. And it's incredible. Like the inside is beautiful. Everything has been taken, and they took very, very good care of the vehicle. And I love that they put their spin on how they saw it and wanted to love the vehicle. And it's interesting because now, and I don't know if it's like the hippie vibe of it or what, but when I get done driving, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for getting me safely from A to B to, it's interesting. And I take care of it too. I vacuum it out, I keep it clean. And I was pretty bad at not doing that with my other vehicles. So I'm pretty proud of myself for taking care of this 89 van. It's crazy. But, it's been an interesting thing because now I go, I love it when people go by, even if they shake their head and are like, what is going on with that vehicle? I smile and it brings me happiness and I love driving it, and so does Adam. So that was kind of part of, just you have to look at things differently sometimes. And I'm not saying to put rose colored glasses on and just pretend like everything is wonderful and great, because it's not true. Let's be true to ourselves. Not everything is wonderful. There's not always a silver lining, but I hope that with this, this episode that we can start to kind of look for different things that could be a blessing. So this Ford being down could have meant that maybe we prevented ourselves from getting stranded somewhere else. Could it been, maybe keeping us from getting an accident? There's all kinds of different things that you could look at and go, well, maybe this. So before we went down to Alabama, that was going to be our means of transportation, even with just getting the motor done. It wasn't done in time. So we had to get a rental vehicle, and I'm thankful that we did, because I don't know if the Ford would have made it with it just being fixed. So, I mean, I look at these sequences and go, okay, there's a reason. And I'm safe, and we had a great time. And, it was such a great experience that got out and we were still living life. And I'm thankful for that. So moving on, because I'm going to go kind of all over the place. And I'm sorry, guys, but I'm feeling pretty good today. I've got this, finally got a burst of energy all day long. I've been super tired, super tired. But so if I go back and forth, it's my ADHD. And if you've never experienced that, you're gonna. All right, so I'm going to talk about the ULA journey. Jan McKee. She has been on the one of my episodes, and she is an incredible person. I look at her kind of like a mentor. She's been through a lot. Her story has, uh, man, she's been through a lot of different things, and she's overcome a lot of stuff. And the reason why I'm bringing up these books tonight, not only because they were guests, but I'm also thinking, if you are interested in maybe purchasing this, like these books, because Electrocuted is available. My ULA Journey is available by Jan McKee. And I just want to go a little bit over this. The back part of it. Born into a life filled with sexual, physical, mental, and verbal abuse, my life was chaotic to say the least. After meeting the ULA guys in 2014, I started implementing ULA in my daily life, no longer weighed down with emotional baggage, finding balance in the 7 key areas of life, family, friends, faith, finance, fitness, fun, and field. This is my story. We are all on an amazing journey of life together, and it's people like Jan who make that journey so much better. It is such a blessing to hear about someone taking the ULA message and making their own lives better. But Jan has taken it an entirely different level. Jan changed herself, which inspired her family and friends, and now her story can inspire you. Read Jan's story with your heart and let her transparency lead you to the ULA life. Dr. Dave ULA Seeker. Isaiah 4:3-2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep you away. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. I have known Jan since early childhood. She is a true example of courage. I was honored to review her book. It's an honest, raw, and at times story of Jan's life and journey. It is a very revealing story of heartache turned victory. As you read chapter to chapter, you will see Jan's faith, trust in God, also many tools to live life fully and triumphantly, one day at a time. So the reason why I bring, like, again, she's been on an episode before, but I bring this book up because I have passionately wanted, or I have desperately, not desperately, but I wanted to write a book. I continue to keep on putting it off. And these two people have been very, very, very vocal with saying, hey, if that's something that you want, go after it. So we've talked prior on other episodes about having, anxiety, depression, fear-based situations that kind of hold us back. And I know that some of you that are listening tonight have had these experiences as well. So I look at these people and them having such incredible stories and stories that are different from my story and my journey, and they still continue to keep on thriving. It really inspires me. And the reason why I brought it up is because I was hoping that it would inspire you too. Are you wanting to do something like that? Are you wanting to write a book, start a blog, do a podcast, create different things? Working with my hands, I found that I'm able to continue to keep on doing things that are, I'm passionate about, that I love. And I'm able to continue to keep moving forward with a purpose. So I kind of hit a little bit on that earlier about what is our purpose? What is our journey? I mean, when we think that we have it set and that we're going towards our journey, it seems like life just kind of, Tony just went like this, goes the other way. We get flipped upside down. Something happens we have no control over. And I am a huge control freak. And it's hard to say that, but I have issues with trying to control things even when I can't. One of the best examples of that is when I'm in a vehicle. It's hard for me to be in the passenger seat, especially going on a 14-hour road trip without having anxiety, having that fear and worrying about what can happen because I'm not the one with the steering wheel in my hands. But I'm learning now that just like other things in life, I'm a passenger sometimes and I just don't have control over it. Probably most of the time I'm a passenger. I do a lot of the driving in my life, and I think that I do I do the driving, but I know I'm not I'm not in control. But things happen, like I honestly, before cancer, I didn't really have a plan. I worked a lot of hours. I worked night shift. I dreaded my job. I didn't like it. The only thing I liked about my job is that I had people at work that I really liked and I cared about, and they became family after all those years. They became really good friends of mine, and we did stuff together. We went out to breakfast, all that different stuff. But that was the only thing that I had going for me at work. That was the only thing that I liked. So I spent 11 years at that job. And when it came down to it, and when I had gotten sick and when my mom had gotten sick, I was just a number. I was asked when I said I was going to take time off to help take care of my mom because she had limited months, limited days, months, whatever. And I wasn't going to let her just be by herself. I wanted to be with her. She was the best person in my entire life, the one person at that time that I felt I could trust no matter what. She would tell me the truth. She would always be by my side. And she would tell me if I was fucking up, excuse my language, but true. If I was messing up, she would tell me and she'd be truthful about it. She'd still be a mom and she'd still love me and still want to help me. But she was one person that I could run to and be like, hey, I am screwing up. I am doing this. And she would still love me no matter what it was that I was doing. And for me, that was a huge thing. And now, since she's passed away, I have a much better relationship with my dad, which is incredible, and I'm thankful for that. He tunes in, supports me. He's constantly telling me how proud of me he is. And, I felt like we had that disconnect before. And now I feel like we have come closer. And I'm so thankful for that. But the thing was, at that time, I felt like she was the one. And then I ended up getting sick. And back to when I was working though, I told my boss that I was taking that time off, and he said, "Isn't there anybody else that can take care of her?" And I thought to myself, this is not, that's not right. That's not the way I want to live. If I have somebody that I love that I need to be with, I hope that I have a job that will understand and will allow me to do that because life is short. And when it's somebody that you care about like that and you need to be there for them, you have to be able to be there for them. I'm not saying that happens in every job. It doesn't. There are places like Bronner's, for instance. They are very understanding. They will work with you and they will help figure it out. They will even send you flowers and cards and well wishes and prayers and everything. So there are places that will work with you. So anyway, getting back into that, at that time, I felt like she was the one I could come to, and that was it. And then after that, I was like, what do I do? But I got so used to relying on that. And I ended up just going and being okay and complacent with just working a 9 to 5 third shift job that I accepted. I felt like that was all my life was worth. And I'm not saying anything bad about those people that do have that job. I respect them. They stock our shelves. They help us with our groceries. They help us find where stuff is located. And I thank them. I know that that is a thankless job. I know that it is a difficult job. And I know that they are just the number there. And that hurts my heart. It hurts my heart because I know I worked behind the scenes and I saw it. I'm not going after Walmart. I'm just saying that that's what I experienced at the one I worked at. So, and I thank you guys. I thank all of you in that kind of work, that the restaurants, all that stuff that people just get horrible at you. So I decided that after finding out that I had cancer and then getting surgery and being, cancer free after that, and then, then came along losing mom and everything, I decided that I wasn't going to do that ever again. I was going to find stuff that made me happy that I was going to do and I was going to love life. But before that, like I said, sometimes we get this idea in our head and we're just going to do this. And things get turned upside down and then we're not doing that thing anymore. But then we get frustrated. We get tired. We get hurt because we can't do that thing. And then we kind of just disconnect. And I found myself doing these ebbs and flows and, all these different things. And I've come to learn, okay, this can be tough, but it also can be very meaningful. It can be a huge lesson to learn. It can be all kinds of different things. So first off, before I get a little any further, I have Adam checking in, says, sounding great. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We are on Twitch and on YouTube and also re-aired on solidstateradio.net. You got something? Oh, okay. I thought you were clicking over to tell me something. So, with that being said, you guys, I hope that you guys check that out and go and listen. SolidStateRadio.net over there in Lapeer is one that re-airs all the stuff that we have going on here. Don't Make This Weird. This is My Brain podcast. I'm not sure if they're doing the Guitar Fridays or the Saturday night chill stream or Tuesday night rants. I'm not sure. But there is something for everybody on that station. So please go and check it out. And if you haven't liked and subscribed and you want more of the Survivor Girl podcast or any of the other ones, please go and hit those bells and all that stuff and share. Also, don't forget to check out Facebook page, because we do have a Facebook page. We try to continue to keep the positivity and to share as much as we can on there. But sometimes, because now that we're out living life, I don't get on there as much. So we're working on that, though, to keep it going and keep everybody positive. But thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out tonight. So before the podcast, Tony and I were kind of talking about this, about how not only are we trying to find the silver lining and to find the positives out of things when things get turned upside down, but also about not just self-care and self-love, but kind of about what we say to ourselves and how we take care of ourselves and the mean things that we say. And I know I've touched base on this before. We've talked about this subject before, but apparently I need to bring it up again because I'm feeling like this is a topic that needs to be said. Please be proud of yourself if you are doing stuff that you have been putting off for so long and you're finally starting to do it. Even if it's just picking up some laundry around the house or finally getting those dishes out of the sink done, or you were able to completely get something, a whole outfit on today that you haven't been able to because of surgery, tired, whatever, depression, whatever it is that you're facing. I just want to say congratulations, you guys, and be kind to yourself. Thank yourself. Thank yourself for being able to get up and to do these things. So we have some times where we don't talk kindly to ourselves. I am bad about it. I do love myself. Okay, before it was kind of a struggle. Before cancer had happened, I didn't really do a whole lot of stuff. I didn't really know my purpose. I still struggle with that sometimes. Like going, okay, what is it that I'm really supposed to be focusing on right now? Oh, squirrel. There's something else I got to go do. I still struggle with that, but I do enjoy all of the things that I do get to do. I enjoy creating and being able to do this podcast, to be able to share this stuff with you guys. And, like I said, I'm not saying that I completely can't stand myself and that I'm constantly being a bully to myself, because I couldn't be able to sit here and tell you guys to be good to yourselves if I was constantly doing that to myself. I've come a long way. I used to be really super mean to myself, especially when I was overweight. That was a very hard time in my life. I felt like I could not get anywhere. I felt like the weight gain would just keep on coming and coming, and I wasn't able to get it off. And I've had some different things go on through this past year with gaining some weight back and fighting to get it back off and get back on track. But you know what? I love myself, and I'm going to do it. I'm proud of myself. I know I can do it. I've done it before, and I'm not giving up. And I know a lot of people this past year have gained weight, and I'm not calling you out because, hello, both of us are raising our hands here in the studio. So, but what do you want to do for you? What do you want that will make you happy? I know for me that getting my weight back under control is going to make me extremely happy because I can do more and I feel better, and I love eating healthy food, actually, doing all that good stuff. Speaking of that, I'm going to do a little segue over here and I will come back. I'm holding on to that squirrel to get back in line. I want to talk to you guys about one of the things that Tony and myself are actually on this holistic natural health journey through Dr. Matthew J. Shelson's here in Carroll. Now, if you guys are located anywhere near, you're able, even if you're not that far away, or if you are even a little bit farther away, you can still make an appointment to get in to see them and take that drive, because your health is super important. And I would definitely recommend it. We have been doing it for a while now, I'd say about 3-4 months maybe now, maybe longer, where we have been going and seeing Dr. Katie there, Caitlin Gremmel. But I hear good things about Dr. Shelson as well. He started it a couple years now, maybe a little bit longer, 6 years maybe it's been. So if you guys are interested in, it's at 21 North Elmer Street here in Carroll, Michigan. The phone number that you want to call to make an appointment is 1-855-672-2600. And I think that is the same number. Yes, it is the same number to get in touch with Dr. Caitlin Gremmel. She is incredible. When we went in, we both see her. We both have that same doctor, which we've had before with Dr. Kim. And she is definitely helping us get on the healthier path. She has something for anxiety and things like that that have really helped, especially when we went on the road trip. I talked about that a couple episodes back. If you guys are serious about looking into natural health, it can be an incredible journey. So if you guys want to get in touch with them, again, the number is 855-672-2600, and they are on Facebook. So go ahead and check them out. Another shout out that I want to give while I'm still here, got two more actually. Hometown Handmade at 130 East 3rd Street, next to Jalisco's Deli, there in Emily City, downtown Emily City. There's a bunch of cute little stores that are downtown. So if you stop in to see Mary at Hometown Handmade, or myself this next Friday, you guys can stop in and say hi. You come in and see the 20 plus artisans that all make handmade stuff here in Michigan, here in the US, all made with love and very, very much care. And they put into all these products, very well made things. One of the main vendors there is Stone Cottage Farm over in Mayville. They have soap there in the cozies and spiced rum as well. And their first ingredient I know is love because it says it right on the bars of soap. So you guys are able to check that out and all of the other amazing stuff that is are in the store, all the vendors that are in the store. There's candles, there's jewelry, there's clothes. I mean, all kinds of really cool stuff, you guys. So if you guys get a chance to stop in, say hi to Mary, and also get your favorite Stone Cottage Farm soap. You can also get that on Etsy store too. So if you go to Stone Cottage Farm Mayville on Facebook, you can find all that information there too if you want to order through Etsy. So thank you guys for that. We appreciate the sponsors and everybody that helps uplift these shows and all the shows and podcasts that we've got going on. We do appreciate you guys. And another shout out to the Harvest in town as well. They are doing some different shake things with Don't Make This Weird, Shake Roulette, different things going on there. If you go and you play that game, you can, and you guess right, you can get 10% off on your next order. So go and check that out too. We're excited because we're going to have the owner on Don't Make This Weird coming up also. So that's very cool. But so getting back on track, getting, ahead of that squirrel, we're putting it back now. Um, Talking about being kind to ourselves, taking care, and that even goes with the health journey and trying to find the things that work best for our bodies and getting enough sleep, getting enough water, doing all the things that we are constantly being told that we need to do, that we fight doing. And I know that I am very bad at doing this. I fight with getting my water intake and everything else. But we were having this conversation, and when I get more sleep, when I get my creative movement in, because I refuse to call it exercise because that sounds lame, and I get my amount of water and all the things that I need, I do feel a lot better. So why do we fight ourselves? Why do we do this? I know that life gets crazy, life gets busy, and if you are working, which a lot of people are starting to get back to work now, it's hard to balance and to keep a strict regimen, a schedule, whatever you want to call it, and to be able to still get the things that you need to be done. But we all can find time somewhere, whether it's cutting a little bit of Facebook time out, maybe a little bit of Netflix time, or whatever. It's just finding the little time that we can. If you have to get up a little bit earlier or whatever it is to do, that's my thing. Is I usually get up earlier, and I find that when I do this stuff, that I do feel better, and I'm not so mean to myself. When I don't get in my creative movement, I can kind of get a little bit grumpy, and that's hard. It's hard to be around me. It's hard to be around other people. And, again, start talking mean to ourselves. We start getting grumpy. So as a male, how is that for you? Because I know that we were constantly being told, well, men shouldn't cry. This was the old thing, they used to talk about. Don't cry, don't show your emotions, don't do this. I don't know if that's something that you were told growing up or what. But how is it for you to be able to, when you're talking to yourself about being mean, being a bully, all these things that come in your head? Talk to me a little.
I am the worst person ever for those types of things because it's I'm horrible when it comes to that, and I'm trying to get better with a lot of that process because I am so just not nice to myself. I mean, I recently started a process about a month ago through counseling and through a couple of different groups I'm with to have be kinder to myself with my self talk because and it's speaking from a guy's perspective. It's absolutely horrible because we tell ourselves these things, and doing something perfect for the first time, and you screwed up because you've never done it before.
Right.
Um, it it comes down to, well, you've never done it before, so you're not going to do it perfect. So
Right.
why are you putting that kind of pressure on yourself?
But we do.
Yeah, I mean,
do.
that's the crazy part about it. I mean, I've got this knot in my head from not just a zit, but from a guitar that I'm working on. And I stood up and knocked myself in the head. Of course, I'm bleeding. And in the process of this, I started this new process of being kinder to myself instead of a lot of the negative talk and the toxic talk that we say. And it was really funny because instead of cussing myself out and calling myself 15 million different really bad names, because that's what I did,
Yeah.
I gritted my teeth and said, yep, the pain reminds me that I'm alive.
Just like when you're getting in the creative movement, you're out there, like you flip tires, you do all kinds of different stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I do this crazy, when I do put myself to it, I do like a circuit training at home with the rowing machine, the bike, and stretch bands, weights, all that fun stuff. But getting to that point, for me, I find that I feel kinder to myself because, of course, when you do your exercise, creative movement, those endorphins get moving and whatnot, and you start to feel good. You start to feel good about yourself. You're proud of yourself for getting the stuff done. But you put yourself through some pretty tough workouts too.
I'm not going to lie. It's one of those things that nobody else will let me beat them up the way that I beat myself up.
True.
So, but I mean, being in kind with doing that. I mean, flipping tires, yeah, it's great, but what am I doing that for?
Right.
Am I doing that for the self gratification of making myself more physically attractive to the opposite sex? Or am I doing that because I have an insecurity? I mean, both, things that are out of my control.
Right.
Or are they? And I'm doing this to build my confidence mentally and emotionally because I'm intentionally putting myself through advertisement, adversary. What's the word I'm looking for? Challenging myself.
Right.
So I can persevere and be resilient and have that tenacity to go, okay, I got to flip this tire 10 more times before I've meet my or arrived at my goal and persevere through that.
And that's one of the things too that I look at with, having the weight loss and feeling so much better from going from 350 to going down. And then, through this past year going up in like 15 pounds, or whatnot. That's been tough, especially for somebody who has gone through the bariatric surgery and did so well. But they talk about that too. They let you know that there is a honeymoon phase too when everything just kind of shuts down or shuts off and you have to work even harder to get back on track. And there's people that have gained all their weight back plus. There's people that have gained like 50 pounds or more. So where I'm sitting at right now, I could easily continue to keep on just eating badly or to do like my old habits and eat the sugar and continue to just, do those things that were unhealthy. And get to that point where it's so hard to lose weight again and be like, why am I doing this? And I have decided, now it's like, okay, where you're at. You keep on moving forward and fixing it, but I know it's not going to happen overnight. And that's one of the hard things when you've had weight issues throughout your life, and we're no strangers to this, is to get back on track. And how do you continue to keep on doing high performance habits?
It's funny you say that because once again, I'm doing a new routine courtesy of our health journey by Dr. Katie. And I was doing this thing where I was only eating once a day, a big meal, and then snacking through the course of the day. Very minimalistic, like just grazing, if you will.
Right.
And she's like, well, that's not okay because a guy with your stature and your size and your build needs to be eating every 2 hours.
Right.
And I went, oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm supposed to too with my weight loss surgery.
Right. And that's the thing. So now I'm a little discouraged because, well, Tubby's caked on a few extra pounds.
And that makes your self-esteem come down.
Well, and that's the thing is like you were talking about having, weight issues. Granted, I can't hold a candle to some of the other people because of the struggles that they've dealt with. But I've always been, the guy that's had the gut. And I'm like, come on, get your crap together. But when you're taught incorrectly and you're looking at all the sources that's just, good genes.
Right.
Having people cook meals for you, personal trainer, all of these things. Like we don't have these things. We have to learn these things the hard way.
Yeah.
And we have to persevere and push ourselves because we have other obstacles that these people don't have.
But let's go ahead and let's go through that a little bit more too. Okay. I am very famous for going, well, if I had this, then I could start here and I could start doing this. And I continually start putting these walls up because in my mind I start thinking, well, I don't have that, so I can't do this. BS. You can go into your excuses. You can go into your cupboard and you can pick out the soup cans if you have soup at home. And you can use those as weights. You could use jugs of water as weights. You can go to the store and you can get the stretchy bands, a 3-pack of them at different sets for like $9.99, or go to Five Below if you have a Five Below, or check out your Dollar Tree. Sometimes they have stuff that you can use there.
Pick up a 5-gallon bucket a few different times and see how well that works out for you, full of water, gardening.
Right. But again, keep in mind to check with your doctors, to your physicians, your nutritionist, whatever it is that you do have in your arsenal, to make sure that you're doing the right things for yourself. I don't want to see anybody going out there going gung-ho and getting hurt because they're like, oh, Heather said, Tony said. No, please make sure that you're doing everything right and you're doing your due diligence to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Even with the natural health journey, that might not be right for you guys. We talk about this stuff because we're excited about this journey to be able to try to do a different avenue, but that's not always right for everybody. And again, I don't prescribe any of that stuff on this show. It's just we're real people. I feel this stuff. We've been through it. The weight gain, weight loss, and it's discouraging. It gets to you.
One of the things that we mutually talk about on Don't Make This Weird, when we're giving the shout outs and we're giving the sponsorships, with our health journey, it's what do you got to lose but your health? Right. And that's the thing, is doing the due diligence for all of that. You're educating yourself, hopefully, properly.
Yeah. And another thing, too, with that being said, it's not just about, like, some people can't gain weight. Some people have a hard time gaining weight. Some people have a hard time losing it. I mean, I've never experienced the gaining weight. For me, my body continually, I can gain weight like it's nobody's business. It's still, even after having the surgery, I can still gain weight easy. And I know that, so for the rest of my life, I'm probably going to have to work harder than the rest of, other people because of that factor. But because I know that and I'm aware of it, I can continue to be successful about it. I can stop fighting it and being like, well, okay, so maybe if I am hungry, extra hungry, I can have veggies. I can have a banana. I can change it up. I can figure out what's healthier choice instead of going to the junk food. Even though I have a gluten allergy, there's still a lot of really bad junk food that I can still have. And I'm not my old self. And I get in that mentality sometimes, and because I'm human. I'll be honest with you guys. There's times when, peanut butter cups sound amazing to me, and they go through me easy because they burn quickly, and I can eat more of those even though my stomach is still small. And I know this. I know chips are the same way. I know all of these things. I know the things that I can get away with, but not get away with because I gain weight back. We're all human. I'm sure we faced it either, being gaining weight or not gaining weight. But here's the other thing too, is getting your mind right when you are going towards trying to get that goal. Understand, 1 pound is huge to lose. That's a great thing. 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds. Don't think because the number is small that's going to deter you and stop you. Keep moving forward. Don't give up.
The difference between 99 pounds and 100 is 1 pound.
Right. But it's a step in the right direction. It's moving forward. It's not taking no for an answer. It's planting your feet and moving. That sounds funny, but you know what I mean. Not taking no for an answer. Continue to keep on doing the journey for you and finding out what's best for your health, for your life, mentally and physically.
Well, and ultimately, I mean, when it comes down to your diet, you have to figure out what eating healthy, and I hate using the word diet.
I do too. The word die in it.
But that's the thing, though, is I mean, generally people associate diet with eating stuff that just tastes like wet cardboard. The problem with that is that the healthier you can eat, you can't go wrong with eating fresh any day of the week.
Right.
If you can grab something, from the local mom and pop produce or whatever.
Farmers markets are big
Farmers
now.
markets now. Yeah, absolutely. You can't go wrong. Your body will thank you for eating fresh.
For sure.
Because the more fresh produce you eat, your body will thank you.
But let's talk about when you go back to eating healthy and you're eating these things and you're starting to get into this groove of trying to take better care of your body by putting better things in your body. Remember, though, because you have ate badly for a while, or mix match where you've done some days that are really good and some days you fall off the wagon or you get back on. Remember, though, that can make you tired. It can change a lot of things because your body is starting to process different foods. So there's all kinds of different things to it. Like I feel like I could have had a PhD in this stuff because of all my life, all the different things that I've learned and I've experienced, and the ups and the downs, and POC or PCOS and all the different, weight gain and different things with that. But it's hard to be able to have something like that when you fall back and forth. Like you go on the wagon, you go off the wagon, and it's hard. It is a very hard journey. So if you are, sitting here and listening tonight and you're worried about the number that you have to lose, or, some people instead will do measurements instead of the scale because clothes and the way that they fit are a lot different. I know somebody that was, I think 164 pounds, but because a lot of it was muscle, they wore like a size 4. It's interesting. And then their sister was the same, but because it wasn't muscle, she wore the same size, but she was heavier. So it's interesting how that all works. It's just a huge like science and different things with all of that.
Well, and here's the thing you have to remember is if you're starting this halfway through your life or midlife or however it is you want it, size it up. If you've not taken the best care of your health, well, when you start a health journey, it's a journey. You know where you started. You hopefully know where you're going. But in the process of all of this, you didn't put it on overnight.
Right. It's not going to come right off.
Yeah, and you didn't eat healthy overnight.
Yeah.
So eating healthy, and that's different for every single person.
It is, too.
It's such an individualized journey.
It is very much so. And, that's another thing, too, is proportion. And, it's that time of year where ice cream, it's ice cream season. We all love ice cream, a good ice cream. Some people don't. Some people will tell me they can't stand it. But I do. Like, I have a thing. When I'm out and about and it's hot out, there's times I want ice cream. But let's talk about that, though, okay? Are you going to be condemned if you get the smallest ice cream and have just a little bit? Or make it to where you only get it once a month. But that's another thing. Don't forget that if you don't indulge every now and then, you can seriously hurt yourself too, because then you go on a bender, which I've done. I think have you experienced this as well, where you just overeat or eat a lot of something bad?
I'm not really. I yes, and a huge resounding no, because it's one of those things where I have to be in the mood for it.
Right. Slurpees.
Slurpees.
That's one of your things this time of year.
I'm horrible with Slurpees because they're so cold and it's so hot.
Yep.
So yeah, in enjoying Slurpees, like I'll kill 2 Slurpees a day when it's ridiculously hot, and then I'll be jittery, and it's like what?
I feel like crap.
Yeah, you feel like absolute garbage,
and you know why?
Yeah.
And you hang your head in shame, but you still do it. because we're human.
That Slurpee was
It's not an
so good, but it
excuse.
was so bad. Because, I mean, all it is water and sugar.
That's all it is.
And you're just dying like popsicles,
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so horrible with popsicles, but they're so cold.
But there's the thing too. There are recipes out there, and you can make your own at home. Some people use different, like honey instead of actual sugars. Maple syrup is another big one that people use, especially like with the keto. Monk fruit, different things like that. There's all kinds of different healthier options to make your own. I know, who has time, right? We're back to that again. But if you can make time to prep your food and to
Time
do
is an
different,
excuse.
it is not. It is an excuse to not. Yeah. So I mean, if you look at that, you can make your own popsicles, baked goods, different things like that. Like I like to use almond flour for the protein. I do like a swerve kind of sugar. It's it's actually pretty good, and it does not raise your your sugar, whatever. Adam's probably at home shaking his head, going, "Come on, you know the word," because glycemic index. There we go. But honey, natural, especially locally harvested honey. That's another good option. And maple syrup, they say that that's probably the best options to do. I've heard of dates too, people using dates in their recipes and whatnot. So there are good options. There is a good way to make healthy food. And, they talk about meal prep. That's a huge thing. For me, one of the biggest things for me to get back on track, you guys, is to log everything, whether it's a drink, food, a snack, whatever, water intake, to log every single thing that I do. Because if I don't, and I'm not accountable for myself, because I do have a food addiction, I still do. I have got to make sure that I'm being accountable.
Well, and we're all dehydrated, so drink more water. You think you're hungry? Drink more water.
Yeah,
you think you're thirsty? Drink more water. I mean, look at that.
My poor Survivor girl's coming off my bottle, but this is a 64-ounce bottle of water that does keep cold. I got it at Walmart. I think it was like $14.99 for that bottle, but it's definitely worth it because it's got the sealing, or it seals it in and everything, and it keeps it really cold. I can put ice in it, and I think it's 24 hours, 12 hours or something. It keeps it cold, so that's a good option. Another tool, like I didn't need that. I don't need it, but it does help me stay on track. Just like I started using my Fitbit again. I get to keep track of all of my steps and everything. And I've got friends on the Fitbit app, people that I actually do know, that I can keep in track with what they're doing on their steps. And they inspire me to get my butt moving. I'm like, wait a minute, there are this many ahead of me. And you can do competitions and different things on there. No, I don't need this. This was a Christmas present. But it's a tool that is helpful. Just like I said, the stretchy bands, I use those. I got a rowing machine from somebody that was free. I just posted on Facebook that this is what I was looking for. I had an elliptical to give somebody because it was harder to do. And I wanted to work my arms for kayaking and everything. Sometimes it just takes putting it out on Facebook to get something that you need. Someone in your family or friends are using it as a coat hanger and you can get it. Coat rack, clothes rack, whatever. So, that was a huge blessing. My bike and my rowing machine were both given to me. And sometimes it just takes putting it out there that you need help, that you admit it. I need help in my journey. This is what I'm looking for. If anybody has it, I can give a couple dollars or whatever, or trade you for this, or. Also, another great thing, too, that I was talking with another friend this past week is if you don't have equipment and you do get tired easily, like with me, down to one adrenal gland, I do get tired. I have days where I just get exhausted. Some days that's why I'm home. I'm just tired. You can do chair exercises. You don't have to go gung-ho. You don't have to take everything all at once in one day. Like I've got 5,000 steps on mine. That's chump change compared to some people, but that's what I got on mine. That's my goal every day, is try to get that, and I can get it on my bike. But I can do that throughout the day. Yes, when I'm doing it all at once, my heart rate goes up, and that also is monitored on this too, which is very good because I've had issues in the past. But here's the thing. You don't have to do it all at once. You can break it down into 10-minute intervals. You can do whatever and, bump your heart up. And if you have to take a break, take a break. It's all really what works for you, but at least you're moving. And the more that you move, the more that your joints are lubricated and that you feel better. When you first start out, though, you can have some soreness. You can, all that stuff. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That can happen. I still have joint issues. I mean, I was carrying around 350 pounds for most of my adult life. So I have arthritis and things. I still have pain from things. So, the journey, where are you at? Stop being mean to yourself about where you're at in your journey. Yes, we can sit there and we can say, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I'm this heavy. I can't believe I can't get this or I can't do that. But do you love yourself? Can you love yourself? Are you ready to love yourself? What are you doing for yourself? What is it that you want to do? Because, I talked about earlier about my mom being my best friend. She was my person. She told me everything. She was honest with me and still loved me. But now, she's passed. What am I doing for myself to take care of myself, to keep moving on and to continue to tell the story? That's this whole idea of Survivor Girl podcast, was to continue to tell the story, to bring people on the show to share their stories as well. Because what matters is the ones that are listening. You guys are what matter most, because you hear this and you might be inspired. We're not shaming you. We're not coming after you and saying you are not. No, we want you to be inspired. We want you to move. We want you to go to your doctor and find out what it is that you need to do to get healthy and to take care of yourself. Because let's face it, it's nice out. It's time to get out and go for walks. It's time to get on the bike. Or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can do indoor stuff. There's indoor walking. There's bikes. There's, like I said, you can lift a soup can and get some reps in, whatever. It can be work. You can work it out. If you have to go online and search chair exercises on YouTube, there's a lot of free stuff on there too. But remember to always check with your physician and make sure that you're able to be able to do these things, that your heart's good, that your body's good, and that you're able to do these things successfully without injuring yourself, because that's important too. If you're down from an injury, you can get very down and depressed as well. If you can't move and do the things that you're meant to do, that gets hard too. And we've talked about that before on the podcast. Experiencing going from having lots of energy to going down to barely any. It's hard. It's hard, but I want you to focus on loving yourself this week. Focus on, maybe some gratitude journaling. Maybe some things that make you happy that are things that you want to get healthy for. Is it your kids? Is it yourself? Is it a job that you want to do but you can't because it's hard to do because you got some weight, or you feel tired because you just can't keep up with the pace of things? Is it for your parents to help take care of them? Is it to be able to go out and do a 5K? There's all kinds of things. Is it because you want to do your own job and you want to be able to have your health in order to make sure that you can do it? Whatever it is that's inspiring you to keep moving forward, don't give up. 1 pound, 1 inch, whatever it is that you are moving towards, be proud of yourself. Talk to yourself kindly. Be kind to yourself. And just remember that where you're at now doesn't mean that that's where you're going to be at, a month down the road, wherever. I've watched some incredible transformations through people that didn't even have weight loss surgery like I did. And I know that you guys can do this. I know that you can get out there and live. Find something that's fun. Find something that you love to do. There, even just a little bit of walking. I parked way away from where I was going to today, and not because I was embarrassed of my van, no, not because of that, but I parked and I walked over to the other store from across the parking lot to get my steps, and I hit 5,000 steps, and I was proud of that. I got my 5,000 way early today. So, it's just adjusting, finding the time, and finding time to love and take care of yourself. And I'm not talking about the whole self-love thing, but that's good. If you find things that you love to do it. Take care of you. Find time for you, but also find time to not be embarrassed and hang out with people that you love too. I know when you face some weight gain and things like that, you don't want to be in pictures, you don't want to hang out with people, but stop hiding. Love yourself enough to hang out with those people and to help them. They might help you get inspired as well. So I hope tonight was a good inspiration for you guys. Thank you, Tony, for joining me on the mic with those questions. And whatever it is that you're facing, I hope that you're able to continue to stand up straight and relax a little bit too, but be proud of who you are and continue moving. Find the time, quit the excuses, and be proud of yourself. Love yourself. And remember, guys, life is best lived.